Hello, hello. So I lied, or the universe changed. I'm still here because I have been unable to collate everything I know, which must mean that there's more to find. Well, it does mean that there's more to find. And so I am going to be redoing the Twin Flame Intensive, which aligns perfectly with why I'm back here for the Pluto into Aquarius shift, January the 20th, 2024, which is why I've come back to YouTube in my retrospective understanding. And so there's obviously much more to know, only for those who are in need. The absolute truth that can only move through me for you. I am the channel for you. That is what's going to happen in the new year. So from January till the solstice, till the equinox, the spring equinox, to March 20th. That's what's going to be happening for those 2 months. I'm going to be channeling all the information, all the up-to-date information in alignment with the Pluto moving back into Aquarius, which is a massive shift in consciousness, which nobody's attributing anything to, but this is what's happening. And in the meantime, we're carrying on with these so that we keep that momentum going. I did have a massive death rebirth this week. They're very interesting. Last time I had one was 10 years ago, and I'm speaking nonchalantly about it, but it's not I guess I'm kind of used to it. But anyway, yes, just feeling like I died physically. It's not physically fun. Last time it happened was 2013. But I'm so much more surrendered to things now and so much at peace with whatever life wants to do with me that it moved through much more easily this time. Anyway, that was Friday night. I'm now recording Sunday. Let's see what our messages are. We're going to go 1, or 2, or 3, or 1. Or 2, or 3, or 1. 2, or 3, or... don't know why. Oh no, what we got? Oh, we got reversals. What's going on? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, 10 of Wands. Excellent. Endings. Yes. Oh, thank goodness for this new energy. So we're not repeating the same things anymore. 10 of Wands. What I like about this 10 of Wands, look at this man with the sickle, reaping what he has sown. Adding a little bit of extra positivity to this 10 of Wands card, that this is about reaping what you've sown, bringing in, this really is a time of collating everything that you've learned. 2023 was a huge learning year. I promise you 2024 is a year of reaping, but you have to ensure you can see the wood for the trees, so to speak. I had the realization, I mean, I'm a completely different person as I was 3 days ago. So many people just I have been misjudging the ability that most people have to look beyond what the kind of like right in front of them stuff. And people tend to come to me for personal sessions when they feel this kind of way, right? They feel overwhelmed. They feel like they don't know, they can't see the wood for the trees. And it would be really good if this wasn't where the space we were in, especially within this whole twin flame struggle that can exist, that we reach out for help when we're struggling. We do need to reach out for each other and also reach out for this channeled material, which I know lots and lots of you do here. You know, so this is why you're so awesome. But reaching out just to go higher, So not needing to have a negative experience before we can go into the positive, but understanding the cycles. Once we get to 10, we then begin again at 0. It's about rebirth, but in order to experience your rebirth, you must make room, put down all this idiotic doing and really move into flow. And I understand flow's difficult. Personally, I don't have a choice, so that's why I'm a stalwart for it. That's why I'm a bit of a nightmare for it, because I don't have there's nothing else for me that exists. So I'm kind of like, well, just do it, man. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, but anyway, that's how it is. Let's see what the rest of the cards are. But in a nutshell, oh, okay. Hello, Strength. You're here. You're still here. We see you. We see you. We understand you're still here, but we're moving on. Okay. Thank you very much. Put the cards down. Put the sticks down. Put the work down. Your work is done. No more work, only flow. Get into the flow. All the abundance is there. Reaping what you sow. Get into the flow and reap just what you sow. Apologies, but this is the way it's coming out today. Right. Number 1 card. The King of Cups. Again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's get them all out so I don't have to go completely mad. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if this one's been out recently here, but it's been out a lot. And the 6 of Swords. Okay. This isn't too bad. Not too much repetition. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a play. Right. King of Cups. The huge. Reiterating this story around, he's still very, what's the word? Stubborn. This masculine person who knows but is just not moving. But it is also important to double down on this message that they're just following orders. All knowledge is already known. So there's just different ways, different perspectives of knowing everything. There's nothing to learn, especially when you're connected to all things and you really are awakened to the reality that you know nothing and you know everything all the time, right? Having said that, there is a process here of relearning that we are all just puppets for what has already happened. And the experience of making anything happen in any way is just that. It's just an experience of it. In reality, it's all already done. So you can just chill out. In this story of this masculine figure, he's just holding the fort, not moving, because that is what he's supposed to be doing. Oh, look at this lovely little dolphin. Oh, sort yourself out to focus. There he is there. You see, he's double. He's got this little friend here on the back. With those weapons. He's a protector. He's a fisherman. He's doing exactly what God has told him to do. So many, images here. I'm drawn to ancient Greece, because in ancient Greece, dolphins were very, very powerful. I mean, of course, we've got the Syrian connection. For anybody that's into that, I woke up one day, don't know how many years ago now, I think it was 2016, with this, or maybe it was 2015, just with this knowledge, from Sirius, that's a lot of the energy here, or kind of stream, and just drawn to that dolphin, this kind of like Noah's Ark thing. It's about change, but it's also about embracing timing, and that the figures in your life are just operating according to the timing, the plan. All you need to do is 9 of Pentacles it. So, look at those lovely grapes. Become drunk on the beauty, the divinity, the abundant glory all around you. Embrace the material. Do you know what I keep seeing, and I kept seeing, and has always, I bang on about not being afraid of quote unquote evil, but then 666, probably because I've seen The Omen too many times as a teenager. I'm kind of like, oh no, not the 666 number. But I kept saying the 666 number, so I looked it up and intuited what I could around its appearance. And really, what it represents is materialness, is the, let's call it the lower vibration, so to speak, but it's really earthliness. It's not, you know, it depends where you want to be. In the elevated society that we are moving into, if you're following, if you're connected up to this stream, if I am the stream that you are connected to, the lowest you can get to is earth, earthly manifestation. There's no, again, you know, we're moving out of this kind of like negative. It's the end of negative experience. Oh, thank goodness, just had that realization, because I was an absolute nincompoop when I was traversing a huge amount of consciousness after my very huge shift and awakening in 2013, and I was given the choice: would you like to transcend all suffering? And I said, I remember just being like, no, don't worry, I'll have it, because otherwise it'll be boring, right? And now I'm kind of like very ready to let it go and live here. Live in the abundant beauty. You are here. We are all here to thrive, love, enjoy, appreciate. Drink from the garden. There are so many, there's a bit of a, I don't know whether it's just on my social media algorithms, not that I really spend much time there, but there seems to be this kind of fashion at the moment with not drinking alcohol. And 100%, you know, alcohol is a toxin. And but everything is about balance. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but if you understand the way that plants act as medicines, what they do is they trigger an immune response. They essentially have a negative effect on the body, which triggers the body's immune response to focus in a certain area. It ramps it up because the body is trying to protect itself. So when one is in balance, there is nothing, one is completely free. When you really are free from all judgments of, not even right and wrong, but like knowledge and ignorance, essentially, it really doesn't matter what you do. Drink from your plants, drink from your vines, right? And this isn't literal. It's not saying plants and vines, and you know, maybe it is, maybe that's your thing. Actually, I could quite enjoy that myself. Drink some wine. I am not a big wine drinker. I'm not a big drinker at all. Didn't drink for many years as well. But this kind of like, oh, I shouldn't, it's almost hedonism. It's speaking of hedonism, it's speaking of joy. You can afford to take the risks to feel really good. It's about abundance. It's really about knowing that everything is here. Everything is there. What I notice in this card is that the figure, she has her hand rested on this pentacle, right? So you can notice you've got all these kind of like occultish kind of symbolism, and all this kind of like fear of this materialism, like to be material, again, plant medicines, the witch, all of this stuff, that it's kind of negative, right? It's coincidence, it's a feminine kind of like figure, this kind of like witch-like kind of thing. This figure, though, she's very regal. She's connected to nature. She has this wonderful kind of like falconry glove on and this beautiful bird. She's resting her hand on this pentacle, but she's not really giving it much attention. To be totally free is to genuinely just experience the glory that you are here to experience in this earthly, beautiful incarnation. So that's really what it is to be spiritually awakened, is just really this card. You can't really say any better than that. Of course, it evolves into the 10 of Pentacles, which involves community. And it's interesting, brings this thing up, because I had a comment that I'm always banging on about community. It's not spiritual community or twin flame community. It's leadership creating culture through community. That there are so many, well, how it came about is I've worked with and met hundreds of inexplicably stunning, beautiful souls. And I'm aware of their connections. I'm aware that I'll literally around the same time have an architect and a construction person and a gardener and an artist and all these kind of people that, if they all just work together, could create the most amazing community space to live in. But it doesn't happen because we don't have these paths of interconnectedness. The interconnecting point is me. But when I try to, it's obviously not my job to, well, actually, I think it is my job to connect people up in this kind of like broader, vaster scale. But I don't think it has been the right time. But what comes first is the awareness that this is what we will thrive within. That it is required that you know who you are. We know who we are in our bliss, manifested, embodied in this Nine of Pentacles, so that we can then start to build the city. Okay? Just there in the distance. Focusing on peace. Focus on peace, wholeness, appreciation, 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 appreciation. If you want anything for the world, just feel appreciation and joy, because vibration is everything. Everything. And then Six of Swords. Moving to clearer, calmer waters, which we can't actually see that well on this backwards card, so to speak. And we can see these melancholy faces here. But this is really just speaking to these ideas of the narrative, the stories in these swords. Don't watch the television, don't watch the news, don't be on the social medias, on the socials, as they say. Just, well, if you are, not don't do it, but if you do, just know that it's stories that are going to get in the way of you experiencing your flow. Also, there's this kind of juxtaposition here between the individualism of this Nine of Pentacles. We cannot create beautiful, connected, stunning, harmonious relationships and societies without owning our stuff and embracing who we are, our gifts and talents and abilities, appreciating every single aspect of our material world, loving it, watering it, eating from it, enjoying it. Then we can, then and only then can we kind of like jump off into and fly into this kind of like world that we're building all together. This feels like a bit of a setback. It's kind of like, oh yeah, but then we go into this mental space, which isn't actually reality, this mental space, and it all seems kind of rubbish and hard work and like, oh, I can't be bothered. And also feels like there's distance and, oh, there's such a big gap and distance between where I am and where I want to be. which just isn't true because this card says no. But I'm kind of drawn to this, oh, come on, focus, sort yourself out. This twin flame sort of story, which is represented by this King of Cups here, which feels like it's triggering this kind of lack experience or this negative experience, right? But it's really speaking of the idea of negative experience, that we're holding ourselves apart from this reality. This is the reality. I do think this is connected up to the shift, the Pluto into Aquarius. It went into Aquarius spring 2023. It went back in the summer into Capricorn, where we're kind of like finding out the reality of the physical experience, but that could be quite difficult. It then is moving back in January the 20th. I am here to hold your hand every single day on this intensive. I'm actually really excited about this. I mean, can you imagine the turnaround? I was kind of like, oh, this is all over. It's just, there's nothing here. And then I go back to try and get it. I was like, I have to get it all together and get it out there, though. Doesn't even exist yet. We're channeling it all through from January. We can't do it until Pluto moves into Aquarius. And I'm absolutely, genuinely, really excited to see what moves through in this space, because it's going to feel so amazing. This is about manifestation. The embodiment, the manifestation, so to speak, of genuinely the highest possible awareness, consciousness. And it is all about death, rebirth, all of this stuff. This is what it's about, that Nine of Pentacles. But right now, in this transition phase, there's always a bit of a transition. And you've got to be aware of the resistance. But this Six of Swords is saying the resistance is all in your mind. And, you know, you can't see, you're kind of cloaked there. Again, this masculine, it seems like the masculine is in control. Beware of projecting authority outside of yourself. You are the authority. Do not allow anybody to push you around, so to speak, especially not in a masculine kind of like figure, because this is what this is speaking to. That doesn't mean that there couldn't... This Six of Swords speaks of an experience of a masculine figure doing the driving. But if we're making ourselves small in that experience, it seems like that we should be... It's basically saying don't resist it. Don't surrender your authority. Understand that you are choosing. But this Six of Swords is kind of saying that there's a capacity here to feel as though you do not have a choice. That you can't, but that's because you cannot see the truth. You cannot see the reality. The reality is this. And it kind of speaks to this idea that on the way to this, because the Six of Swords is kind of moving into this Nine of Pentacles, it's going to seem like, oh, I don't know, I can't see. But that's why I'm doing this job, so that there can be clarity and you can get the actual truth of the situation, you know, cross consciousness, not just what there seems to be or what you can see or think or know, so to speak. With the Six of Swords, and also just this kind of like, it's kind of saying you can't see the wood for the trees, right? It requires that you ask, that you connect with something more lateral in its, you know, more encompassing. Okay. What's the last card? Okay, we're going to the middle. Going to the middle. Oh, there it is, Knight of Swords. Okay, excellent. Moving forward very, very quickly. Wow, away from this burning village. Oh my goodness. Now we know why the Knight of Swords is moving too fast, because he's moving away from the fire. So this is us hurtling towards Aquarius from out of the, honestly, idiotic rubbish before. This is an extremely powerful shift into a completely new dimension. Honestly, I'm here, out ahead, I'm here. And it's so cool. And I really, really want you to join me. This is happening anyway, but the kind of messaging around it is don't miss the boat, weirdly. Don't miss the boat. In order to really get going, wasn't it last week I said something about putting a fire up your bum with that Knight of Wands? I did, didn't I? And there it is, you see. This is like it's too late, we've got to go. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. This is who you are. Sorry. You know, I was kind of banging on at the beginning about how I don't have a choice. You don't have a choice either. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this. You're on the team. So just do it. Make the choice. Don't think, just move. Go fast. Go fast into this new understanding. It's still swords. It's a new consciousness. It's a new understanding. It's so powerful. It's the reason why we've been here. Honestly, it's 10 years of work, you know, and more. And it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. It's 3,000 years of shift. So you're so blessed to be in this transition phase, but just choose it because it's so awesome here, right? This is the middle. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is all about claiming your place on earth, taking the action, making the choices, whatever your path is. I am making a way for whoever's path it is to come with me. I'm honestly looking for my 12 disciples. Not to develop some messiah complex, but these are the numbers that I have. So I'm looking for 12 soldiers. Honestly, 12 awesome, like, you know, just powerhouses to come with me, work with me every day, well, 6 days a week. Well, really just show up, listen, channel it through with me for 2 months. When this shift into Aquarius occurs, January the 20th, 2024, but the books are opening now from this going live. And we're just going to see what we can do. We're going to create a super group. We're going to create the disciples. And, well, it's already created. So the link will be here. This is the culmination of everything. You know, twin flame, awakening people, just really, really authentic awakening. Let's get one more card. Let's see. This is one more little massage. Ooh, 7 of Swords. Fear. Again, speaking of fear, don't go round and round in circles. Jump off samsara. Jump off the wheel. I think this is what's kind of interesting, is that people get a bit, they're waiting for the right time. They think there's going to be a sign, you know. Like, we've had the sign, we had the rainbow. This is the time to, it's kind of saying, if you know, you can go backwards. There's also a lot of messaging here around war and peace. This 7 of Swords always talks about walking away from war. Look what's interesting. Why are these swords looking kind of like wooden in this deck? Is this one wooden? Yeah, they kind of, I see the gold, or they just golden. Oh, see, it's silver in this one. And then here they're kind of woodeny, or maybe that's the sunset. Anyway, the sun is setting on the repetition and moving into this new world, but you do have to make the choice. And this is the thing with this thing that I'm offering. It's a really, oh, come on, focus. It's an intensive, it's a commitment. It's like, who do you become? This is really and truly about you becoming your authentic self in the world and reaping the rewards. When you really focus and live in your authentic self, which is always growing and evolving, but it has to be the focus. Like, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is what feels good. This is what feels good. This is where I belong. Then this new earth that's opening up. You are a leader. You are a leader, a trailblazer for the new earth. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this. However you got here, whether you've known me for years or you've just This is the first time you've ever seen it. This is your train. And you are the reason why I am here, honestly. So 2 months of this intensive until the spring equinox. And then I already have my new career lined up. So, I mean career. My new, where my time is going. It's already happening. It's already transitioning. So I'm going to be working harder than I ever have before, tuning in and channeling daily for 2 months. This is how important this is. This is everything. And this is you. If it's your train, awesome, let's go. If it's not your train, find your train. Just find your train. If you feel like you're one of the 12 oracleicals, then get on board, let's go. The link is, I'll put the link in somewhere. Find it. And let's go. If it's you, and I really feel like there's some like new people, and even if you don't know anything about me, and you just feel it, just let's go, because I feel like it's new people. The word that keeps coming to my mind is powerhouses. You're the powerhouse, you know. You already have all the resources and you're ready to go. Let's go. I'm genuinely, really, I wasn't expecting to be this excited, but I really am. I want to know what's going to happen. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen here. I'm genuinely excited. This is called Supersonic Upgrade. All right, love you lots. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, I'll be here every week doing this because it's still happening. It's still happening. We just had death and a rebirth to deal with on the way there. Of course. Love you lots. Bye.